Russell, exciting news. Critical Metals put out an outstanding news release starting with a 1.63 million pound raise. What are you planning on doing with these funds?
Well, thank you for having me, Tracy. I'm very excited about this raise. It was oversubscribed in what many people refer to as a difficult and tricky market. The first order of business is to rehabilitate this road. It's a 28-kilometer long road between ourselves and one of the villages, and it has been used by local villagers to transport logs along the road, and it was degraded over the rain period. And in fact, we saw 4 times the amount of traffic that we had normally seen, and hence the reason why we need to make this an all-weather road. And what we're doing is there's 3 areas that are particularly wet. We're putting in culverts there. We're going to bevel and angle the road so the drainage is proper. We have a compactor ready to go to compact it, and then we're going to put layers of stone, both dolomite and laterite. Laterite actually will dissolve and make a cement type process on this road. So we're going to do that. We're going to start hopefully in the next few days, certainly next week. And it'll take us anywhere between 60 and 90 days to complete this road. What we're also going to do with the capital is we need to finish up our diamond drill program. Diamond drill costs about $170 per meter. We can drill about 30 meters a day. And we need the extra 1,000 meters to add to our previous 1,000 meters in order to build some type of block model and ideally a mine plan, along with creating a JORC report, which the market is eagerly waiting for. Also, too, with a portion of that capital, we are going to pay our fee for the OTCQB listing that we've been working on for the last 4 months or so. It's basically the last fee before we get the approval, and it's the fee to the broker for the introduction letter. So we hope to be trading on the U.S. market, OTCQB market, in the next 30 days or so, which will open up a whole new avenue of investors.
And of course, I've been watching your career for the last decade and a half, so we know how you achieve milestones in stealth-like pace. So many people may not appreciate what our group notices about your company, which is that you often go to the Congo. You're not just another company with a Congo asset. You're actually there frequently, but you're based in the US. Is that correct?
So I'm based technically in London. I travel to North America a lot because I think North America is going to be a growth market for the company. We have a subsidiary registered in the US and an office in the US, and that allows us to take advantage of some of the funding programs that the U.S. government offers. For example, the Exim Bank provides loan guarantees to companies that are operating in the DRC at single-digit type lending rates. The DFC is very active in the continent of Africa and is looking for both lending, equity stakes, and also grants to emerging mining companies in Africa. And in fact, I know a company in Uganda that actually recently received some DFC grant capital, and we're after the same program. So being based on an airplane, but technically in London with a subsidiary office in the US is where I am when I'm not sitting at the mine in the DRC.
Well, you touched on a few things I had wanted to bring up, starting with the term sheet that was mentioned for 11 million loan from a partner. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So the term sheet was for 11 million on a gross basis. It was 10 million for capex, which is for the plant, and $1 million for OpEx for the company itself. The terms were actually very compelling, and if one would think about the risk-free rate of a country like the Congo, it's a dollar-denominated debt. Once they remembered that the U.S. government is guaranteeing this loan, the actual terms got reduced and the payment timeline has been extended and a holiday granted. They're busy rewriting the term sheet, and we expect the term sheet to come back, I think, tomorrow, actually. That's from the first financing institution. The second financing institution who says that they were going to provide a term sheet, that one is yet to come. We expect it to come in the next week or two. And then, of course, yesterday, there was a meeting with the DFC in Washington, D.C. to talk about this grant capital that we're after. And that application went in December, and it's being moved along quite nicely. And interestingly enough, one of the senators out of Connecticut is championing our cause to the DFC and saying, we need to get this application down to the final approval decision.
We often talk about ESG and sustainability, and in particular, strategic relations with the community. And I was deeply moved by a video I saw about a school that you had built in your community. Can you tell us a little bit more about your investment in the community?
Sure. So we had about 53 employees, of which only two were not Congolese. And out of those 51 that were left, two of them that were doing mining for us in June, July, were actually qualified school teachers. And so what we did is we went to the chief and then went to the village. We asked permission for the chief. If the villagers approved to build a school, would he allow it? And he said, of course. And so we took these two gentlemen that were mining for us, and we said, we want to build you a school. And so we went to the village and said, would you like a school? And they said, of course. So we went and purchased a brick making machine. We went and found some anthill hills, and anthill dirt actually compacts quite nicely in the bricks and reacts quite favorably in a kiln environment. And we said to about four different gentlemen, here's the machine, here's the anthill dirt, and we gave them a water source and said, make us bricks, and once you're ready, you can sell them back to us at 8 cents a brick. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think of the thousands and thousands and thousands of bricks it will take for us to not only build the school, but also build the camp. So we built the school and had it operating in September, and it was an unbelievable success, and it brought incredible goodwill. And in fact, in October, November, when the officials from Washington, D.C. were there, they were incredibly moved by this small but unique and a school full of enthusiasm and hope. And so the next idea that we have there is we want to put Wi-Fi into the school and go to one of the foundations like a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and ask for computers. So what will happen is our teachers will be able to not only use just the blackboard, but we'll be able to teach these students really what's out there in this great world that we live in, and give them hope that they can achieve something. And recently, we've been asked to build a second school by the other side of the property, the lease area, which I'll talk about when I get down there and just see how we can do this. And what I'm thinking about now is building a small church for the current village, which has the school. And I think that this community relations, and certainly with the chief and the villagers, is really key. What's interesting, though, is just 2 days ago, I received a picture on my phone of a group of tomatoes. And what's happened is we finally have our first tomato harvest from our community garden. And what we've done is we've hired other villagers, and we've built a massive garden by a stream. So we have plenty of water. And we grow orca, we grow lettuce, we grow tomatoes, we grow carrots, we grow all sorts of vegetables. And what we do is we pay the caretakers there to harvest and supply the camp. And so it's a little micro economies that we're building to help the village where there has been no employment. And it was very enlightening this morning when I called down to Molulu, and they said, no, our carrots should be ready by the time you get here. So I'll take some pictures of the carrot harvest that we hope to have soon and put them on the internet.
So for everybody out there that's going, hey, who is this critical metals? How about you just provide a couple of competitive reasons why critical metals is such an exciting project for investors following the critical minerals sector to pull up their sleeves and do some due diligence on?
Sure. So the Molulu project is a past-producing copper cobalt mine. There is a cobalt area where there are two pits where the artisanals were taken, but we're focusing right now on the copper. So we are going to be in production in 2024. All right. So there's very few companies that have gone from development stage into production stage at this type of market cap. and this quickly. Number two, copper prices actually changed a lot. Right now, it's at about 9,300 or so. We saw the Bank of America come out and say they expect a 30% rise in the copper price within the next 12 months. And when we were doing our modeling and figures, we started at 7,500. We bumped it to 8,500 just to see what kind of margin expansion there is. And at 9,300, our margins expand by about 20% or so by selling a DSO or direct shipping copper ore to the market. Number three, we always look at polymetallic deposits. And so I will be going to 2 other countries on this trip to look at, to do due diligence on tin, tungsten, tantalum mines, and another mine that I'd rather keep quiet for now until I get there. And, we look at spreading out the EBITDA over several countries and several different mineralized pits or mineralized mines. So ideally what happens is we do several acquisitions this year, at least 2, and turn around and add that to the copper profitability and the copper sales that we have, and turn around and make this a more stable EBITDA type company that will allow us to increase, I think, immensely as the critical minerals and the critical metals thesis continues to grow, not only in the West, but also in the Far East and Asia and places like Japan, South Korea.
Russell, normally we ask companies to tell us what we should be looking forward to in the next quarter, but I'm not going to let you answer that question. What we would prefer, since you're so hard to track down, is that you come back in 6 weeks and provide an update. Can you give me that promise that we're going to see you in 6 weeks for an update, please?
Absolutely. I look forward to updating everybody here in the CMI and InvestorNews world.
Thank you. And for everybody out there interested in more information, please go to the following critical metals website. Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, Tracy, for having me.